right, here we go. Mandalorian episode 4, chapter 20, The Foundling. We are back. We are the ExStreamists. We are also late. I am terribly sorry. Normally we do this on the right when the episode drops, but I was at GDC, so we had to wait a little bit till Friday. So I'm here with Joey. I'm here with Max. Let's talk about Mandalorian. Joey, what'd you feel about that episode?
I liked the episode. I just wish that some of the overarching story was kind of brought into the fold a little bit more. But in general, I thought it was good. It was entertaining. I think there was character development that was good with all the characters. I mean, with Grogu, with Din, with Bo. I like that, even a little bit more with the armor, with Paz Vizsla, all of it. I think there was good character development. But again, I kind of wish, here we are halfway through the season now, and I feel like, what are we doing? Where are they taking this? What the heck?
We don't know what the whole mission is.
Yeah. Where's the villain?
What's the big story?
Yeah, because
where's the antagonist?
The first two seasons was get the kid back to its people, right?
Yeah.
We've already done that. So now what are we doing?
Exactly. Especially with Favreau saying there's going to be multiple seasons. There obviously is going to be more here. So
right. Well, before we start speculating and everything, Max, what did you think of the episode?
Like Joey said, it was entertaining. You can't watch, the 30 minutes. It moved well, and it was really entertaining. But again, it gave you little bits in terms of character development, especially for Bokatan and Grogu and things like that. But it didn't, move the major story along yet, because we still don't know what that major story is.
Right.
So far this season, each episode has been its own little individual story.
Yep.
And that's okay if you give enough little tidbits that lead you to the bigger picture. But like you said, we're already halfway through the season yet, and we don't know much.
And I feel like even without, if you remove speculation and theories, it's not like there's a ton really to talk about. I feel like half the time, even when we're off mic, it's just like, what do you think? What do you think's going to happen? What's this?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's all speculation.
It's all speculation, which is fun, and I like.
It becomes goofy speculation where it's like,
we go way off out there, right?
Stuff that we can't even say on this.
We just went way off.
Yeah, we can't even talk about that stuff.
What about you? What do you think, Robbie?
Yeah, I mean, I liked the episode as far as the action and stuff. It felt like there was, the pacing I felt was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there was that the cool moment where you get to see more of what happened to Grogu, how he got out of the Jedi Temple, which was awesome. We bring back kind of a fan favorite, but also a fan hated person at the same time, which is kind of, I mean, I like that they did that. They brought back the actor who played Jar Jar Binks.
Ahmed Best?
Yeah. So he came in and played Killaron Beck.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Is that a name that we should know beforehand?
Apparently, I think there was a show called it was like a Jedi training show. It was for kids, and he hosted the show.
Yeah,
and he played this character.
Correct.
And so they just now took that character that was in that TV show, which was it was like a reality show.
You can watch it on YouTube. It was kids having to perform they had to go through an obstacle course and achieve certain things, and it was two kids, and there's 3 different teams, so 3 different teams of 2 kids, and they had to go through and run Star Wars style obstacle courses. My daughter's watched it a couple times.
I didn't even know it existed.
Oh yeah, it's on YouTube.
I'm gonna go watch it now. I'll tell you that.
Killaron Beck. I thought it was okay, Beck, whatever.
Beck.
Yeah. The Q.
So I mean that's pretty cool. That's kind of giving him some redemption, especially since if you know his backstory and the aftermath of playing Jar Jar and how people thought that he was the main reason why the prequels were ruined, which we touched base when we did when we reviewed the prequels on Still Holds Up.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool for him to now get this redemption moment, and then I feel like that's obviously not the last we're going to see of him, because now we just kind of found out that Grogu had another daddy. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now, where it's well, think about it. That's kind of the reasons why I feel like maybe he suppressed all the stuff that happened there. It wasn't actually. I mean, maybe because it was the battle and he saw their teachers die and stuff, but I think something's going to happen tragically with, that's tragic with this character.
I think it could either be that when you brought that up, that makes sense. And I think it has to be either that or that he taught Grogu, use the Force to suppress this. This is how you're going to survive. Is you have to remove all of this. You can't have remnants of your past, something like that.
I disagree. It's because something else has to happen, because I feel like I don't know why.
Like, you think it's trauma?
I think it's got to be trauma because obviously he is captured by another, faction of something. I mean, it's obviously not the Empire that captures him, but that's the reason why Din and the IG have to go and there's a bounty for him.
Everybody on the galaxy had on him.
He's with this other group. Somehow he ends up with this group. So that means something, I believe, happens to Killian.
Kelleron.
Yeah.
I think something. I just think something tragic happens.
What planet were they on? The episode 1, where they had the bounty, where Nick Nolte was.
I don't remember where they went.
Throw me under the bus on that one.
No, I
feel like we should know this since we have a podcast that talks about this crap.
But that was a new world, and it was just for that episode. Really, I mean,
no, he comes back to that. He comes back to that world.
Yeah, but I mean, twice. But
it's not like Navarro, though. I mean,
my question was,
it ain't no Naboo.
My question was,
they know Tatooine.
Was Killeran taking him to that planet, and that's where he lost him, or does he go to another planet and then they lose him and bring him?
Great question.
Because those were Naboo soldiers.
Yeah,
and that's a Naboo starfighter that he gets in. Yeah. So, I mean, my thought is someone from Naboo is helping him, so he might be going to Naboo.
Naboo's though, like I don't know. That's a big name planet for them to go right after Order 66.
Oh yeah, you want to go lay low.
You're gonna go lay low.
Maybe Nolte's planet is better for laying low.
Maybe. True.
Maybe.
True.
I mean, but to your point, Robbie, he doesn't have to. You calling him his first daddy?
First daddy.
He doesn't have to.
Well, second daddy, because I think we still think Yoda's his first daddy.
I think it has. Yeah, Come on, it has.
Yoda and Yaddle's creation, but then that's kind of messed up on Yoda to just like leave his kid at the temple.
Well, he was dealing with other things.
I would think you get your kid out first.
Well,
didn't we kind of go over all this stuff on The Last of Us?
No, listen. Well, no, you stop the threat. You could end the threat immediately. He has Palpatine right there.
Yeah.
You could end it right there and stop all that stuff. He thought he was going to win.
So maybe when he's on maybe when he actually gets to Senator Organa's ship, he calls in Killeron and says, "Hey, I need you to go get my son really fast." No problem.
I got you.
Yeah, but back to
maybe he's taking him to Dagobah.
Yeah, maybe. Back to my point is
that lost on the way to Dagobah.
The point I'm trying to make is that he doesn't have to spend an extended time with Killeran to feel the loss. They could do it where he's there for a longer period of time and he loses him, or it could be during their escape he loses him. At the point, it could be a day or two.
Yeah,
and he could
totally.
still
We don't
feel
know yet. Yeah,
the missing out. So you don't have to have him long term.
Well.
So I don't think he's going to look at him as a father. That's my point.
I kind of hope he does. Because think about this. I mean, because I've kind of already been. It's no secret that I'm kind of bummed that Grogu's back, even though I like Grogu. Only because of the way that
I think you're a closet hater, man.
I'm not a closet hater. We talked about this. The way that season 2 ended.
Yeah.
You bring back John Williams' score. You have epic Luke Skywalker show up. Like, I mean, the most known Jedi out of everybody that watches Star Wars. I mean, really, he connects all three. You have the prequels, the originals, and the sequels. He's there for all of them. Like, he's the main dude, right? Well, not whatever. But you make this whole tearful moment. To give Grogu, you completed your mission. Grogu's now with the Jedi, right? And then the very next episode in Mandalorian, we're not talking about Boba Fett. In Mandalorian, Grogu's back. You erase that. So maybe you got Daddy 2. We'll call him D2. D2's floating around, right? And then all of a sudden, somehow, he comes back and then takes Grogu again. Who knows? I don't know.
Grogu's the Mandalorian, like Joey said off air. I don't see him going back.
I don't think he wants to be a Mandalorian. I think he's just there for Papa 3.
Who's Papa 3? I lost track of all
Daddy
the Papas.
3.
Din.
Din
is Papa
Din is D3.
Because we got Yoda, then we got
P3.
Kelleron.
Yeah.
No, Joey. I'm riding with Joe's theory. The title of the show is The Mandalorian.
I think that The Mandalorian is Grogu.
Is Grogu. Yeah, I'm with you on this one.
And I think little hints here, like even with the armor making him his armor and him feeling proud, him choosing to leave Luke and go back to Din. I don't think that's just Daddy 3 thing. I think that's him like
I prefer that.
Right? D3.
I think that this is him yes, wanting to go back to Din, but I think that this is going to be
his choice.
His choice of being a Mandalorian, like his quote unquote father. And I think that he's obviously still force sensitive and can still like lean into that training. But I think I think what they're going to lean into is this Jedi Mandalorian thing.
Yeah. And I can see
totally
that happening.
agree.
I don't think that's what he wants,
Sure.
but I can see that happening.
Well, as soon
Why
as
do you say he doesn't want it? He doesn't even talk. He hasn't made any negative expression. Like he hasn't
What are you talking
rebelled
about?
yet.
The kid looks sad all the time.
Hey,
What are you talking about?
real quick before we move on from this. So just timeline wise, because I'm sitting here trying to think and I feel like I'm almost confusing myself. So if we're watching Grogu at Order 66, that's the end of episode 3.
Yeah.
Right? That's when Palps takes power.
That's right.
But Mandalorian is set, isn't it set 5 years after
the fall.
Return of the Jedi. Right.
So we're talking about that's over
you know what?
20 years.
Yeah, that's like 25
Right?
years.
I think it's 30 actually.
Yeah, because
Yeah. I think
it was 20
is it-
years.
yeah.
It's 20 years from Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope.
Yeah, because Luke,
Okay.
you're using it based on Luke's age.
So then, and I forget exactly New Hope to Return of the Jedi. But
No, I
that's-
think
is
Robbie's
that
right. It's
supposed
about
to
30
be-
years.
Is that 10 years though? I don't
Robbie,
think that's
I think
10
you're
years.
right. It's about 30 years. No, even if it's 5, then you add another 5 for the Mandalorian. That's 30 years.
Correct. So we have
Minimum. I think it's at least probably 30 years.
So that flashback scene we saw with Grogu to when Din finds him, that's 30 years.
Yeah, a lot happened there.
That's crazy.
So where the
to
hell
think.
has he been this whole time?
Exactly.
With who, what, when,
With
where,
who-
how?
Exactly. So I mean, to the point of Robbie saying that I don't think this is the last we've
Yeah,
seen.
you're probably right now.
I think there's a lot, but that's a humongous gap of time for Grogu. And if he's only 50, that means he was 20 at
Yeah.
Order 66. And now
Really
you go
infant.
30 years outside of the temple.
Daddy 2 is looking like more likely now.
Totally.
D2.
So it looks like
In
Killian
hiding.
Beck is really Daddy 2.
And he could have died.
Possibly.
He could have died from any number of things,
Yeah.
on accident or, not even directly from the Empire, just from the, harms of
And
the
then
wild,
there has
the
to be-
Wild West.
They
quote
have to
unquote.
show us how the Empire finds that he's alive.
Of course.
To put the
Yeah.
bounty on.
So we're gonna have lots of flashbacks. Is all I'm getting at, because 30 years
Yeah.
is a long time.
Yeah. So
That's why
it's 19 years. It is 19 years in between episode 3 and episode 4.
Okay.
Mhm.
Then it is 4 years in between episode 6
Mhm.
and Mandalorian.
Okay. And
So-
we don't and we don't know how long A New Hope to Revenge.
It has to be a couple of years.
I think
for-
it's supposed to be. I want to say 4 or 5, because I
Yeah.
think he was. That's what I
That's what
want
I'm
to say.
saying. So
That's my
30 years makes total sense.
yeah. But again, that's a
It says only 4 years passes.
okay.
So,
So yeah,
for-
we're
right
like,
there, about 30 years. 30 years, give or take.
Yeah, it's only 4 years for the entire trilogy.
Okay.
So for the original trilogy, so from 4 to 6, it's only 4 years. So you're looking at 19 plus 4, so it's 23. Then you got another, okay, so 27 years.
Yeah.
27 years.
long time.
We're going to round that up because we
The
got,
30 is
hold
smooth.
on. Plus, let's not forget, Grogu was with Luke
Luke for 2
Skywalker for 2
years.
years,
Yeah.
1 to 2.
So now we're 30 years.
We're around
past,
30.
right?
We're going to give it
Yeah.
around 30.
I
Yeah.
think we stick with the 30 years. But that is a long time. He had to have been somewhere.
Yeah. There's a lot to cover. Is all I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
But then if you say that 30 years, then
There's no
maybe
way he
he
was hanging
wasn't
on
with
that
a
pod in that storage unit that
But
entire
hold
time.
on.
No.
But if it was 30 years, then he probably wasn't with a Jedi because that 20-year period.
No.
Or
where
it could have
he
been
was
in
with-
hiding.
No.
When he
Same,
was in
same,
hiding and he wasn't training.
same thing with Luke. Maybe, well, not the training thing. I don't know about the not training thing, but the same thing with Luke where, Obi-Wan's just supposed to be hovering over him,
Yeah.
just kind of watching over to make sure. Then he's got to take a detour and go find the sister, which is a stupid story. Like, we don't even talk about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, but
Just watching. And
yeah, they're not
keeping him
out there
safe.
doing anything. They're laying low.
They're
Everyone
laying
thinks-
low,
yeah.
exactly.
So
Just
probably
like Obi-Wan
could be the
was
same
laying
thing.
low.
Okay.
But it would explain that maybe D2 does die early and
Mhm.
he actually is being watched by somebody else that doesn't have any force
Yeah.
training. And that's why
He got
he
captured.
hasn't
or
gotten any
something.
better.
Yeah. I don't know. If he's
Because
with a Jedi,
30
I can
years
see him
of
being
training, he should be a badass.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
And
'Cause
what
look what
20
Ray did in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No,
Apples and oranges there,
Apples and
Robbie.
oranges.
Apples and
no.
oranges.
If he
I
was
wanna
with
know
a-
what her
if he
M
was
count
with
was.
a Jedi, he would be training because he's already been training.
Yeah, but no, I
Luke
see
was
it.
a new baby. He had nothing to start off with. He had no
See,
training at all.
But I disagree. I think if he even, let's just say that Ahmed Best was, and his character Killeron. Okay, let's just say that he was alive the entire time until just before the Mandalorian. I don't think he's training Grogu, because if he was training Grogu, you'd have a spotlight on you, just like Obi-Wan.
That's right, because they can sense when you use the Force.
Yeah, especially like you'd have all of the Inquisitors, you'd have Vader, and all of them can sense the Force. You got Palps. So, anyways, we're off.
You know what would be cool? If that guy actually does get captured at some point, he does become an Inquisitor.
Ooh, that would be dope.
Which guy?
But we're not gonna ruin that.
Yeah.
Killeron.
Killeron.
Gotta come up with a better name.
I don't know.
All right, so I think we've talked about Grogu enough. Let's talk about Bo-Katan's,
That was sick.
Can we confirm now? I think we can pretty much say we think she's a believer, right? She's going down the path for sure.
She's riding with them for right now.
I think she's still fronting, but yeah.
No, I don't think, because she never takes her helmet off before they arrive there, right? She could have totally taken her helmet off in the ship. She takes her helmet off all the time, everywhere else.
It's her key in, though, dude. It's her key in to keep it on, especially in front of Mando, which she knows is orthodox Mando. I get that,
but when they're on when she's on her own personal ship, flying from after
her house getting blown up. I don't think she's thinking about taking her helmet off at that point. She's trying to fight their way out of there.
Why not? Every single time you've ever seen her fly anything or be in a ship or anything else, she's always had her helmet off.
And of course, it's state the obvious. They needed it that way to tell the story that they're telling.
No. I think from what the way that Din was talking to her right before he went into the water, and then after when she goes down after him and she sees the Mythosaurus.
She's completely converted.
I think she's believing. And then she gets to this place. I think she sees everybody else with Kool-Aid.
It's growing on her.
I think it's
a growing on her. I wouldn't say she's full-fledged, converted.
I don't think she's there yet. I don't think she's full-fledged, but I think she's believing.
I think she's growing to it, and she sees the opportunity to have a crew. She's a natural-born leader. They're following her. It makes total sense for her.
That's what I think.
Also, what does she need a crew for?
I think this is all a part of the plan to quote unquote reunite the new. Well, so there's the
because you could go sit and take Mandalore right now by yourself, plant a flag.
No, it's not about that. She wants
to rule the people.
Yeah, the prophecy is that the person who can tame a mythosaur will start the new Mandalore.
There you go.
That's, I think, what she's after. And I think she now has this, since she lost her night owls, I think this is her, in her head, her opportunity to, if she can leave her helmet on and she can prove her worth, whatever the case may be, until she can get back and tame the mythosaur.
Get her new sigil, the mythosaur.
That's what I think. So I don't think it's like a totally malicious front, but I think she thinks the whole keeping the helmet on is bullshit, but I think she's doing it to keep her crew.
She just lost her home. You're in somebody else's house. We were talking about it offline. If you're in somebody else's house because you're homeless and they say keep your socks on inside the house,
keep your socks on.
You gotta keep your socks on inside the house.
I get that. When you're there, you abide by the rules and stuff and everything. But when you're by yourself,
she hasn't had the opportunity yet.
Apparently, she hasn't eaten in a couple days.
Yeah, right.
No, they eat on their own.
Right, but she just now figured it out.
No, when she acts when they're together, that part that she doesn't know their customs, I can get that, right?
That was funny. How do you eat?
Orthodox. How do you eat? I thought that was a great scene. I like that because
the next question needs to be, how do you poop?
Right.
I don't know. I gotta
take off my jetpack and whatever.
Right. It's a lot of armor to go through.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I think her development in this was good because it showed her, again, like Max was saying, it shows her as a leader. It shows her as a leader of the Children of the Watch.
Yeah.
She gained respect.
Big time.
She has this talk with the armorer. And then it brings up this thing with the armorer. And so we were talking about this a little off camera, but I think there's an opportunity here because there's a rumor that the armorer could be Rook cast, which was in the Clone Wars, was a part of Death Watch, ended up becoming a part of the Mandalorians when Maul took over in the Shadow Collective. Was basically a bad guy. When Maul took over, Bo-Katan was like, peace, I'm out. I'm not I'm not about this. And she started her own thing, right?
And she comes back and kicks some ass. Yeah.
Exactly. And so there's a rumor that the armorer could possibly be cast. And the armorer has horns on her helmet, which could be a throwback to the Mandalorian. So there's this kind of cool thing that could happen with that whole thing. And now her and the armor are talking a little bit more, and she's in there. So they could really open up the world a little bit more with that too.
Right. The only thing I mean, it would be amazing for like us who have actually seen the cartoon that actually know that background. But if they do that, that's another thing that needs to be explained.
Sure.
Because if you bring her in, then you got to like, you know, why was she in hiding? Like, oh, Maul was still alive. Oh, we got to talk about how he took over Mandalore and stuff like that. Because a lot of people don't know that Darth Maul doesn't die at the end of episode 1. Like, he still kind of lingers around and like becomes more into power and stuff and takes over Mandalore and basically runs his own regime.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you do know now because he is at the end of Solo.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, he's still kicking it. You just don't know how. And then obviously what he's doing in Solo, like he's running the crap.
And
I should have looked that up before I started talking about it. But he's not even doing anything with Mandalore at the time, I don't think.
No.
Maybe.
No, it's after.
What, after what? He does Mandalore after Solo. No. Clone Wars. You are right. You're right. Absolutely right.
Talk.
Absolutely right. 100%. I got my timeline.
Yeah, it's all
You're
good.
absolutely right.
I do this all the time. That's why I was like thinking about Grogu in the time.
I was getting
years.
Clone Wars mixed up with Rebels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they can go that. There's only 8 episodes every season. That's a lot to go through.
Yeah, that's why I think it might not be here, but that would be amazing if it was.
Sure, and they don't have to go super into it. I mean, they brought Bo in, and if you didn't watch the Clone Wars, you don't know a shit about Bo and how big she is in the whole story. So bringing back
they're peppering it in though. They pepper it in.
Sure, but you know they could elaborate the story. You know
that her family ruled Mandalore. You know that her sister died. You know that her dad ruled there as well. You know that she had the dark saber.
Mm-hmm.
You know that she,
she's definitely a bigger character.
She's definitely a bigger character, but it's been peppered in throughout season 2, and
correct.
Yeah, I think she doesn't show up in Boba Fett. Yeah, just season 2.
Just season 2. Yeah.
But I mean, I really like her already as Katie Stackoff. Is that how you say her name?
Yeah.
Stackoff.
Yeah, I liked her in Battlestar Galactica. I was already a fan, so I think she's doing a great job. Obviously, playing like the same character because she voice acted the character in Clone Wars. But I've always liked that character, so to see where she's actually evolving is interesting. Yeah. If they keep going the cult route, can we just say it's a cult? Have we decided we're going to say that or not?
It's just a religious sect.
Okay.
Orthodox Mandalorians.
Okay. Obviously, it
feels culty. I get it. Yeah.
It just feels like kind of a weird place to take Disney characters, don't you think?
For what reason?
For the whole like helmet thing, we can't it just seems weird. It doesn't seem like something that.
I think in general it could seem weird, but I think for the Mandalorians, like they've always kind of had this thing. I don't really understand why you can't, the whole concept of not taking your helmet off. It seems kind of absurd, but
was only created for the show.
Correct.
Right. So you think she's gonna convert them?
I'm surprised she hasn't converted Din. I'm surprised. Like I'm still
Din's
shocked.
hardcore, man.
But I'm still shocked. He takes his helmet off, shows his kid his face. That, like I feel like Din. It was presented to me like at least this is the feeling that I got. The Din walked this path because he didn't know there was another path.
That is correct.
So when he actually meets Bokatan and like her other 2 people, which I can't remember their names at the time.
Sasha Banks and the other guy.
Yeah, not the act. Yeah. but then when he comes to realize that there are other Mandalorians, and she explains to him like your people, and she calls him a religious cult, I believe, doesn't she?
Or sect.
A sect. Yeah, something that you guys believe this way. You believe in the old ways, where really everybody else is taking off their helmets.
Yeah.
And I think they're thinking, though, I think in like Din's mind, it's like, cool, well, we need to go back to the roots because this is all messed up. Like everything's messed up.
Maybe, but
it's all he knows until that. But it's like, blood's thicker than water type of thing. I don't know.
But he chooses to take his mask off to show his son before the epic leaving I'm never going to see you again moment that obviously was not that long. But I mean, like, I would think he wouldn't care that much if he was like, you know what, you're not a Mandalore no more. You've shown your face. He'd be like,
okay,
all right, that's cool. Okay, see you later.
I know. I don't know.
And then you still haven't redeemed yourself yet. You get your kid back. It's kind of, why are you still following this path?
Because that's what he knows.
And everybody's kind of a jerk to you also there.
For sure.
I don't know.
That's his family, and they he's been shunned and wants to come back.
Okay.
If that's all you knew from what you were growing up, the point you said about Disney going this route, because it can happen if you're part of a specific religious group, a church, you grew up with it.
Sure,
right?
no, I get that.
And then you get kicked out, and it did resonate with you.
And there's a way to get back in?
There's a way to go back in. You might go back in. Some people might not.
I
They
get
might
that.
just
I get that.
be like,
Yeah.
I'm done with it. I'm out. But it resonates with him. He goes back.
And I think too,
It's an important part of his life.
This, to your point, Robbie, I think this could lead into if Bo is kind of, quote unquote, playing it a little bit, and she ends up taming the mythosaur and ends up gaining this respect and so on and so forth.
Then she
could rip it off and, maybe change things like that. Who knows? Again, It's so funny that most of this, again, it's all speculation because we don't know yet.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of annoying. And again, I think in general, the episode was good at character development and a few things, but nonetheless, it kind of still, and it doesn't mean I don't like the episode. I thought the episode was great, but I just want more of the overarching story.
Yeah.
Right.
Halfway through the season now. Come on.
Yeah, because for me, what really pissed me off is she wakes up, goes out, sees them training, and it's like they just blew up your freaking home the day before, and you're not even like focused on who the hell blew up my home, why, what. You're just paying attention to training. I mean,
you need some food. You haven't eaten.
Like,
Right?
like that part. It's like wouldn't you be like at least give me a scene where like her trying to worry about who freaking just bombed my house.
Yeah, getting some soldiers together. I mean, if that's her mission now to figure out who bombed her place, then
Well, didn't she make?
let's get down to it.
But didn't she make reference to?
Yeah,
She
like,
does
she
say-
stole
she-
because she was stealing ships and
Sure.
stuff.
No,
That's kind of
but-
weak though.
No, but she did say what warlord has
Oh, yeah,
all
yeah.
these interceptors.
Yeah.
She makes a reference like this is crazy, like how many interceptors there are like chasing us. Like it's obviously they're implying it's someone more powerful than Moff Gideon.
Mhm.
And I think that's implied for sure.
Yeah.
So, but that you think like none of the other warlords or anybody else had the balls to basically bomb her place that had like seems like no defense system or anything else in place. Like, how they didn't do it before, who has no idea. But go get some revenge.
Yeah.
Is that a Mandalorian way? Could be. I don't know.
I mean, it's your home.
All right. So one other scene I want to talk about, so maybe someone can explain this to me. The Grogu battle scene where he's got to show
the darts?
Yeah, with Ragnar.
The darts? You nailed that one.
But I'm trying to figure out like what was the rules on this? Okay, so it seems like there's 3 rounds, correct?
Yeah.
So round 1, Ragnar shoots him 1 time.
Yeah.
Round 2, Ragnar shoots him 1 time. Round 3, Ragnar misses. Grogu jumps over his head and shoots him 3 times and wins. What's the rule here?
Well,
So does that mean? So the only thing I can think of is
Ragnar ran out of bullets, dude.
so maybe that means that in round 2, Grogu could have shot twice because he didn't shoot the first round. He's saving his. I don't know. I understand.
Yeah, I guess I don't either. In that, yeah.
It's like Karate Kid Part 3. Dude, Danielson only got 1 point and he won. I don't understand how it happened. Nobody still can explain it to me. Like, how did that even happen?
I don't know.
No, I mean, the only thing I could think of is maybe he stopped shooting, and the fact that you can let off 3 shots. I'm doing the spider web thing like Spider-Man over here, that, he was able to aim and shoot 3 times in one motion. Maybe you get points for, maybe it's you can only do one shooting motion, and he's able to do 3, and I don't know. It made no sense.
I just thought because he popped off his 3rd round and missed that Grogu had 3, so he was able to do. That was how I thought
so you
of
could
it.
shoot. You
Oh,
could
but
shoot
you only have
remaining
3.
bullets in the last round.
Yeah.
So you only
because-
have 3.
Well, you only have 3, and he shot his last shot and he missed, and Grogu
Still had all 3.
Yeah, and Grogu was in the air, so Grogu popped him off.
Oh, that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, but
if you only have 3 shots.
But if Grogu only
right?
shot him
So-
once,
They
so
could've
he
just-
could have shot him 3 times, right?
So they both could have just stood there for round 1 and nobody shoots anything. And the same thing with round 2. Or I
No,
guess
no,
there's
no. He could
time.
have shot him 3 times in round 1.
So why didn't Ragnar shoot him 3 times in round 1?
Ragnar didn't think about that or have the skill to.
yeah, you're right. I don't
He's
know.
a-
None of this really makes
Doesn't
sense.
make
It's
sense.
a weird
guys.
game.
It almost
We're trying to play this.
It
out.
doesn't really
make
matter
sense.
either.
All right.
Like
It was just to show off the future Mandalorian.
All right. So
I did that just for you, man. I wish people could see your face right now.
That's good.
Okay, let's score. Anything else you want to touch on about that happened in this episode?
One
Easter
thing,
eggs?
not even.
Oh wait, can we also figure out how Ragnar survived in the belly of the beast?
For a day?
Was it a day? Because
she
they spent
slept.
the night. That's
They
right.
spent the
It was
night.
at least a day.
Yeah, I think birds can do that. I think that's a thing birds
The only
do.
thing I could think of is that his
birds can swallow things and leave
Yeah,
them
that's how
survive.
they feed their young.
then they throw it back
They
up.
throw it up, and they actually did the motion just like a bird would do, and then feed their young.
He has Beskar armor, just
Yeah.
like Boba, and Boba lasted in the Sarlacc pit, which the Sarlacc pit's supposed to break
Yeah,
down.
but it burned him down and stuff like
But
that.
he was in there much longer.
Yeah.
The little kid.
Do we
was
know how long he was in there? We don't know how long he was in there.
I don't know. I feel like
I feel like it was less than a day for
So
Boba.
you worried about that? I'm more worried about the
Bobo?
fact that
Boba?
this dragon, I will call it a dragon, has taken foundlings before.
Yeah, you saw
right?
the helmets.
Right? You saw the helmets and the thing, and they've been chasing them. With
They know they
their
can't
jetpack.
beat. They know they can't beat him.
Okay, so how the heck did they get to that planet? Don't they have a ship of their own that they could have followed? They had to wait for Bo-Katan to come with her
They took
ship.
a charter.
Yeah, they must have taken a space boat bus, right? Because that part, I was like, wait a minute.
There's a thing called-
How come they never used their plane to go get them?
There's the Coruscant Uber.
There it is. They took all these Mandalorians to
I don't
this
know.
planet. How
I
did
don't
they
know.
get there?
I don't know.
Okay,
That's a great question.
The last separate thing that I want to bring up just before we get into
Wait, actually, I got
the
stuff.
episode.
I got another one too that I want to add to
Go
this really
ahead.
fast.
Okay,
Okay.
for it.
What's Ragnar's dad name? Raz?
Paz.
So
Vizsla.
let's not forget. So the people that, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, you should have watched Boba Fett. So when you see when you see the armor in Paz in the second to last episode or whatever, when you see him in the book of Boba Fett, they're just by themselves.
Yeah.
They're trying to rebuild the order because they don't have anybody else. Because we're pursuing that the people died at the end of season 1. Remember when you see all the helmets?
Yeah, the helmets
all
and the
their
thing,
like
yeah.
everyone's dead. So these are your only 2 survivors.
Yeah.
However, they found all these other Mandalorian, and you've got a kid now, Paz.
Interesting.
Foundling.
You found the Ling.
They
Found
had
the Ling.
he's
Found
not
the
the only kid there. There's a ton of kids there now.
I know.
There's a whole group of foundlings. Maybe those other Mandalorians were out on bounties or something.
Well,
I
for
don't
sure.
know.
Even
It was just pretty easy for them to find a
I
bunch of
know.
Mandalorians where it took Mando or it took Din like a couple episodes to find 3. And they got a whole clan going on right now.
true.
And not just
The
any
Armor is a
clan,
better recruiter.
it's a clan of followers.
Yeah, Armor is a better recruiter.
She is. She found all these people that were not taking their helmets off still.
She has everybody's number. That's what it is.
Okay. What do you got, Joey? What are you going to say?
All I was going to say is, Mandalore is in the outer, and this hopefully alluding to the bigger story. The planet Mandalore is in the outer rim.
Right.
So we're not, in the core system. We're not close to Coruscant. We're not close to all of that. We're on the outer rim. So I think this also could play into the Thrawn concept because we already know he's beyond the outer rim. He's in the unknown region. So
Okay, so before we start speculating anything
Sure.
anymore, I want to rate this episode first, then go into speculations because I got
cool.
a couple, and so it seems like you're gonna throw off one. So really fast, what did you rate this episode?
I'd give this an 8.
8. Okay.
That's my gut. My knee jerk is an 8.
Yeah, I was gonna go 7.5, but I think 8 because it was entertaining, pure entertaining. But it wasn't too deep, and it wasn't
I mean,
it doesn't have to be because this is just a more of an entertaining kind of show. And they nailed it. The CG was great. The action was phenomenal.
It looks great.
It was great. 8.
Character stories were great.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
go.
I'm
I'm
a
gonna go
solid
8 to 9,
Yeah.
and the reason why is because we keep thinking it didn't move the story. It didn't move the future forward, but it definitely
The
opened.
characters.
But it did develop it did give us it answered a question we've had since the very beginning. How did Grogu get out of
Oh yeah, that's right.
get off Coruscant? How did he
Totally.
get out of the temple? Who got him out of there? And I think that's also super cool that they brought Jar Jar.
Ahmad
Best.
Best.
Yeah, I think it's great that they brought him in to do that and kind of give him some redemption and stuff. So that pokes it up a little bit. So with that, and then plus the action, plus you're seeing obviously something in Bo-Katan, which I'm still going. She's falling into that realm, which I'm kind of not a super fan of, but it is moving it in a direction that hopefully we're going to see the fruits of that labor at some point. I guess that maybe the best way to say it.
You think she is going to be like Children of the Watch? Like you think that's where she's going?
I think she's falling into that path, but what's really going to be tested is when she finds her other people. When she comes across, which we know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
when she comes across people that she knew from
Sabine or whatever.
not Sabine, like
The Night Owls?
yeah, when she comes across the other Night Owls, does she take her helmet off? Does she just say this is the way now?
To see that.
Does she try to convert them?
Yeah,
or
that'll
does
be
she
good.
or do they get pulled to the side and then she takes her helmet off and go, this is what I'm doing? Or we might find out a little bit more, but I still think seeing the Mythosaurus, listening to the way Din talks, while she's giving Din, so like Din is very persistent and very like he's very following those ways, even though I still, you got your kid, you took your helmet, like whatever. But she sees this in like there's a reason why she didn't attack him to try to get the Darksaber from him. She already thinks he's a good person, and I think she was seeing the leadership in him, but I can see now what she's doing. I don't think it's Din's anymore to take. I think it's back to Bo-Katan, where I think she will become the leader. At first, I thought it was going to be Din, and Din had to learn. Like we're seeing Din not even attempt to learn how to use that Darksaber. He's with a person that knows how to use it. She could train him if she did believe in him. It's not, I mean,
for sure. I think actually, to your point, I think she didn't attempt to fight Din because I think she knew she was going to get her ass whooped.
Oh, I have one more theory. I'm sorry, one more question, but not a theory. Go ahead.
Okay, and then I think that bringing in the Mythosaur is a way for them to do exactly what you're saying, because I don't think that Din's going to be the one that's going to be the leader. I think they're giving Bo another chance by bringing the Mythosaur into the show.
Wait, you think she would lose to Din? He could barely carry the sword.
She would rock him, dude.
She would wreck him.
She would mess
He couldn't
him
swing the sword.
He
couldn't swing the sword.
Remove the sword.
Din
would whoop her ass.
I thought you had to fight with the sword to get it.
I don't know.
You have to fight.
She's been
for
fighting
it.
and training a lot longer than him.
No,
I think Din would whoop her ass.
She's also older than him.
Okay. I don't 100% know if he has to fight with the sword or what, but I think that if he had to only fight with the sword, I think maybe she'd win.
He would struggle with it.
But if he could use anything else, I think he'd whoop her ass.
All right, so
I'm with you on that.
That's gonna bring up my question, because he's got to fight with the sword, because check this out. In episode 2, Din Djarin was defeated by that spidery eye head looking thing, and he was captured, and he basically lost in battle. We can say that. So he's no longer, if we go by this, so now that guy has possession of the Darksaber. She then comes in and defeats that guy. And she has the Darksaber. She won it in battle.
This is some Harry Potter stuff with that wand.
Just because, but she didn't have to go after Din Djarin. Din Djarin already lost in battle and didn't have possession of the Darksaber anymore.
Yeah. That's a good theory right there. Technically,
do you have to fight with the Darksaber in order to lose the Darksaber?
Good question.
And who beat you? Do you beat the person who beat the person? Does that count? It's the Harry Potter thing. I'm telling you,
she should be in possession of the Darksaber.
Yeah, but you know what? When it comes to Mandalorian, that's all about like ego and honor. And so if you're not fighting this battle for the Darksaber, I don't think it matters.
So that's why I think you have to be fighting with it to defend having it. Imagine.
So let's just say Din dies right there. Let's say Din died by that eye looking dude or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The Darksaber is just there.
Then
can she not take it?
No, I think it would be hers once she kills the spider dude.
But she killed the spider dude.
I know.
But Din didn't die.
She
has to defeat him. And I think she has to defeat him with the saber.
But you don't have to kill the person, because
just defeat.
Just defeat. Like Din defeated Gideon.
Which is another question, which I meant to ask this. I didn't even think about it till earlier, or actually last night. So when she's so worried about Din, when, Grogu comes in, she goes, where is he? Blah, blah, blah. Is she worried about Din, or is she worried about where the location is for the Darksaber?
I didn't even think about that.
But then, obviously, seeing how he acts and how he still wants to go to the waters and the conversation that they have, then she changed into actually respecting him more and then wanting to follow him and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I think it was a little bit of both. Like, I originally thought it was because even though she was pissed that he has the Darksaber and she doesn't, I think still like the fact that a Mandalorian could possibly be in harm, I thought that's why she was saying it like that, but that's a good point.
Okay.
She's also keeping tabs on the Darksaber.
That's right. All right, let's speculate where we think it's going to go, and let's wrap this up. Anybody have speculations? I think I already told you guys my speculation off air, so I'm going to...
Go for it.
Okay, so let's give some more meaning of the previous episode, episode 3, all that stuff that happened on Coruscant. All right, so this is what I think, I guess, could be a direction where we're going here. All right, so we have the communications officer girl, which I can't remember her name right now because I'm terrible. I think she's working for Grand Admiral Thrawn. Okay, Grand Admiral Thrawn wants Dr.
Pershing
taken off the table because Dr. Pershing, with his technology, can actually he can actually perfect the clone body for the Emperor, right? So Grand Admiral Thrawn knows this. He wants to be in charge of the Empire. So he wants to take the Emperor off, make sure the Emperor can't come back. The best way to do that is to take Pershing off the table. So that way, you know that there's not a chance for it to happen. And you can learn that later on, that was the main reason why that she had him lobotomized. So that way he could never do it.
Yeah, often.
And that's why you have all the issues that he has. That's why you don't see him in episode 7 and 8. And that's why he doesn't have a form of a body. And we're giving more meaning to the prequels. We're trying to because I think this one of the main reasons these shows exist is to kind of fix what happened over in 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
But it's one of my theories of why that guy was killed.
Okay,
sure.
It's Ella Kane. Is that what it is?
That sounds.
Elia Kane.
Yeah.
Katie M. O'Brien is the actress. She actually wants to be Abby in season 2 of The Last of Us.
I think she'd be a great Abby.
With her powerful arms.
But
that's another conversation.
That's for a different podcast.
It's the same podcast. It's not a different podcast.
It's a different episode of the podcast.
Oh, okay. I think a different show. Yeah.
No, it's the same show.
Same show. Yeah, but
that's
a good theory. That's not a bad theory. I kind of like that theory. But
it's the only thing I can think of.
Is it too long of a? Because the Mandalorian show is it's kind of been straightforward, kind of.
Because keep in mind,
too much layered.
So we're talking. It's been it's been 6 years since the Emperor's been dead. We kind of did our math, right? Because Mandalorian starts 4 years after Return of the Jedi, and now it's been a year or two since he's been with Luke Skywalker, blah blah whatever. So the Emperor is sitting somewhere. Supposedly,
he's on Exegol.
He's on Exegol, trying to get in some bodies. He's trying on some stuff. They're just not working, right?
Yeah.
We don't know how far along, how close he was, or Pershing. How close he was to perfecting whatever body, if that was his main goal, if that's the reason why he's there.
I think that was his main goal.
So maybe Grand Admiral Thrawn knows this somehow. He's got his peeps. Take him out, so we don't have to worry about it. I'm just saying.
No, it's not a bad theory. You have any? You have any theories?
So I don't think that the communications officers directly working for Thrawn. I think that in this 2 years since Gideon was captured, I think that Gideon either broke out or somehow escaped. And obviously we don't know. And when they were all at the table, they were speculating oh, I heard this happen. I heard that happen. So I feel like she's still working for Gideon, but I feel like Gideon works for Thrawn. So I think Thrawn is at the top of all of this because the Emperor is in the unknown. He's on Exegol. He's unknown. I don't think they're going to bring him into it. I think this has to be all about Thrawn. It has to be.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. But I agree with it. It has to be all about Thrawn. I don't know. I think you're going to see Gideon die really fast.
I think so too. I think
Thrawn's going to take Gideon out immediately.
And I think he should.
I could see him breaking him out of a jail just to kill him.
Just to kill him.
But you still have to give a reason why she would kill the doctor.
I don't think she was killing the doctor. I think you're correct in the assumption of I think she was trying to take him off the board. Take him off the board. All of this clone. Let's take his knowledge off the board.
Do you think he knows that the Emperor is still alive?
No.
Who is he?
Pershing?
Pershing.
No, I don't think he knows.
I think Thrawn might know because he's in the unknown, and Exegol's on the far outer regions or in the unknown.
Well, I think he might have been part of because obviously him being in Exegol had to be a part of some inner circle plan, right? Of his well-known people, his closest circle, I guess, however you could say it, that was part of the Empire. I mean, it's possible that even Vader might have known about it. Who knows? But this is, we're just trying to make the sequels better by just adding all these stuff to it, make it so we want to watch them.
Okay, so Exegol was in the unknown regions. So I think that Mandalore is on the outer regions, right? So Mandalore is already way out there, kind of where all this is taking place right now. Thrawn supposedly went to the unknown regions with Ezra,
right?
When the Purgles took them out there. Exegol's in the unknown regions. So to your theory, it makes sense that Thrawn could possibly know that Palps is out there and wants to ensure that he's doing everything to make sure he doesn't rise back to power because Thrawn wants to. So maybe Thrawn either through Gideon or through the communications officer to wipe Pershing to make sure that he doesn't get his hands on him. Sure, I could see that, possibly being.
It just, it just wouldn't make any sense for Gideon to want to do that because Gideon's wanted Grogu's blood for so long. Like that, that's to all of a sudden just have him part of like, let's get rid of Pershing because now we don't need the cloning stuff anymore.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because what else was he using it for? Because he definitely wasn't using that knowledge to make his dark troopers.
No, he wants that. He wants the blood for the Emperor, right?
That's what we mean. We're all assuming that it's never been said before.
Yeah,
we're just all assuming that it's the only reason why that was for the Emperor. So Gideon's working for the Emperor. Thrawn is not. And I think that's where it's going to happen. You're going to see that collision really fast.
Yeah, I could see that.
And Thrawn just comes in, just takes Gideon out completely. Now we're just done with even trying to tie the sequels in together because you've in a way you've done it. You've kind of already you've established that this guy was trying to like perfect cloning in a certain way. That he actually describes it in the beginning of the Coruscant episode, and in that part in the Coruscant, where he talks about taking different sections of DNA,
putting them together. Yeah.
So you take them off the table. You've now just assured that the Emperor never actually makes an actual good clone of himself.
Correct.
So now you're done with it. Now you can just move on to the Emperor.
I like it.
Kind of the same way you should have been done with Grogu. You could have taken everything off the table for all that stuff, and now you're making new Star Wars. But it's fine.
You can't get rid of Grogu. The show is about him. He's the Mandalorian.
Number two, Max. I like it.
All right, Max.
We gotta get cameras on here because your faces are.
I'm working on it. I'm hoping we'll be fully videoed and camered next week.
No, I don't have any major things. I think the Thrawn stuff all makes sense. I just can see Bokatan taking leadership. It's just too natural for her. Grogu being the Mandalorian that we all the
know
Jedi
and love.
Know and love.
I didn't say I didn't love him.
No, I'm kidding.
I didn't say I didn't like him.
You know what? I got.
You're just making the last episode of season 2 worthless.
No, you know what it is? It's not the hate of Grogu. It's his love of Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
It's anger displacement that they kind of devalued a little bit.
Listen, Robbie, anger leads to the dark side.
Yeah.
I want Grogu to go away, and then I want Luke Skywalker to be adopted by Din Djarin.
No. Din Djarin and Bo, they got their kid. They're ready to rock.
Yeah, that's true. I'm down for that. Yeah. I'm down for some little Dinbo.
All I have to say is
Dinbo.
In episode 5 here, that's a good one. Chapter 21 better move the fucking needle. That's all I'm saying.
They've done
to
enough
be
of
fair,
there's nothing left to.
We said that last episode.
But look, to be fair, the other seasons, there was a bunch of episodes that were always just kind of like Monster of the Week episodes.
Monster of the Week. Yeah.
Well, Monster of the Week, like season 2, you had like they end up on the ice planet and they're fighting off the spiders because he's trying to transport frog ladies' eggs to the next.
That was whack.
Yeah, but it was still a fun episode. Yeah, the Sand Beast. Well, no.
Was that season 2?
That's season 2.
That is season 2. That's the first 2 episodes of season 2.
And that's just to get armor?
Yeah, armor, yeah.
For later on?
Yeah.
So there's
to go get Boba Fett's armor.
Right. So there's been those Monster of the Week episodes.
Yeah.
So we just don't know what it's going to yet. And I'm sure once we actually, look, Filoni's done us no wrong his entire time.
Totally.
Right? And then Favreau's been doing an amazing job, regardless of what you guys think of Boba Fett. I like Boba Fett, but it's still entertaining. Is it the best Star Wars ever? Absolutely not. Is it better than Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Barely.
Dude, you're gonna get smacked.
If you took the Mando episodes out, barely. No. Remove the Mando episodes. That we will have a night.
We will rewatch Obi-Wan Kenobi. Then we will rewatch Boba Fett. You tell me what is better in Obi-Wan Kenobi, with the exception of lightsabers.
If we
because it ain't the acting.
If we watch
it's not the story.
If we take out the Mando episodes, I say that just Vader's presence whops the beta Fett that we got in Boba.
Absolutely not. Because at the end of Boba Fett, he's riding beasts, destroying robots. He's stabbing Cad Bane in the chest.
Yeah, but he was a little bitch the whole time until the last couple of minutes. You know what I mean? Like
he had to refine himself, and that's totally fine. It was This is not a Boba Fett episode, even though it kind of is. It kind of is because Boba Fett's like it's
he comes in and
it's
out.
Mandalorian 2.0, like like season 2.5 or whatever we want to say.
He was the clone troopers.
It
in
is
the
way
flashback.
better. It's way better than Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's way better. When's the last time you watched the Obi-Wan Kenobi show?
I only watched Obi-Wan once.
It's worse the second time.
It's worse the second time.
Because all that feeling of, we get to see Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan Kenobi. John Williams did the score for the Obi-Wan Kenobi theme.
Hey,
Hayden Christensen's in the suit. He's playing Darth Vader. This is awesome.
Hey, I'm right there with you.
Like,
was it a failure? Yes.
I mean, I wanted it to be so good, but
So
then
did I.
when I rewatched it the second time, it's terrible.
Are they getting a second season?
No.
I hope not.
No.
No, they're
No.
done.
If they do get a second season, I hope Filoni and Favreau are doing it, and they just basically
That was a mistake to let Chow do it, for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
I actually had Kyle look up to make sure what the writers were doing for Obi-Wan Kenobi to make sure they're not working on Skeleton Crew.
And if they did a season 2, it wouldn't be the same storyline. I think they would have to take it to like him with Liam Neeson because at the end he like finally appeared, Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
I don't think they are though. I think that was a one-off.
And then
I
they're
think
done.
I think it bombed, so they're not. Yeah, just move on. They're not going to accept the L, but they're going to move on.
It was terrible. Let's just say that it was terrible.
I agree.
I don't know why I wanted that binge of saying that. What was the reason why?
You need it.
I don't know. You said something, and I was like, nah.
It's
and then we
barely better
then we
than
went.
Boba Fett. That's what the
I'm
comment
talking about
was.
this season.
Yeah.
This season. Like it's still. I don't know. You know what? I don't know where I was going with it. Filoni's never done us wrong.
Correct.
Favreau, this is where I was at. In Favreau, for how we think of Boba Fett and everything like that, it's still not the best, not the worst. But whatever the case is, it still gets us good results at the end. Can we say that?
Yeah. And we have half the season to go. So.
Yeah. So I think our patience is going to work out. I think episode 5 is going to be the best episode so far this season.
I hope so.
And I'm gonna call my shot. I'm gonna call my shot.
Ooh, I like it.
You ready? I'm gonna call my shot.
Call it.
I think we're going to see. Is it ready? Are we ready for this one yet? I don't know if we're ready for this one yet. I think we're going to see Sabine. I think we'll see Sabine in the next episode.
In episode 5.
Episode 5.
That would be cool. Look, I
don't know why.
I've loved
I don't know
the
why.
show
Well,
so far.
I think they have the casted. They have
For
who they play
Ahsoka, but they haven't said that anyone from Ahsoka is going to be on the show.
Yeah.
But that's their MO. They always tie these shows together.
We got to see someone big show up, or you have to see the needle move. So it's either you're going to see Thrawn, you'll
You
see
see both.
something's got to happen.
Something's going to happen. And again, I was just going to say,
You can't hang out on this planet again for another episode. It's impossible.
I'm
They still have
liking
to
the
take care of
show.
the gator.
They already took care of the gator. He blew. Well, there's another gator,
The gator inside that ate the dragon.
but that's a second gator. They
different
already
one.
blew up the first gator.
Oh yeah, that's
It's a
right.
big ass lake.
And then
yeah.
where did that body go? Did they eat all that food?
For sure.
What do you think they're eating in those little cans during the fire?
Gator.
Yeah, gator, man. Tastes like chicken.
Me want some gator?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Larry.
all I was saying is I like the show. I've liked every episode for the most part. The Pershing thing was a little long. I still liked the episode.
The
but
first episode's still the weakest.
They have to, though. They got to push it. It has to get pushed. Push the story. Push the overarching. Tell us what the heck.
He did say. I mean, we keep going back to the goal is to break the internet. We have not seen that episode yet.
No,
and if he
you're right.
thinks it's Jar Jar Binks showing up,
It's not.
It's definitely not that.
There's no way that's
It's
what Favreau
exciting.
meant.
It was to see him come in and kind of do his thing, kind of get that redemption. It's got to be. It's got to
but
be
he
another.
didn't
It's got to
say
be a
when
Luke.
they're gonna break it.
It's got to be a Luke. It's got to be
Last episode.
Ahsoka. It's got to be Sabine.
And I think whatever it is, when we're watching it, it's going to be a moment where all three of us are standing up. Like it's
Yeah.
going to be one of those. It's going to be like a hands on your head, standing up, WTF out loud type of moment.
I hope so. And we'll be watching it next Wednesday or Tuesday night.
Boom.
You know what sucks on that Wednesday? I think I'm going to Disneyland that Wednesday.
Ooh.
I think.
That's gonna be
I'm
special.
not 100% sure.
Tuesday night.
But that Wednesday he's going.
But I'm talking about we're going to stay up till midnight
Oh, okay.
on Tuesday night. So it would be, 12 a.m. Wednesday. Then we're going to do the podcast. I don't know. I normally don't get out of here till like 3:30 in the morning. And then I'm going to drive to Disneyland in like 4 hours later.
It's going to be great. May the force be with you.
May the coffee be with me. All right. I think that's pretty good. We good with everything?
We're good.
All right. I think that was, not bad. Not a bad episode as far as our episode and then also that episode. But, thank you everybody for tuning in and listening. Please don't forget to follow, subscribe. You're all amazing human beings. I'm looking at you, Max. I'm looking at you, Joey. Thank you so much. Don't forget, we have our final season review of The Last of Us
coming up.
should be airing pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. We still have some more Still Holds Up episodes we're going to be laying down pretty soon. And then we also have our super secret show that we'll be announcing whenever we can get everyone's schedule set, which I don't know when that's going to be.
Good luck with that one.
It's going to happen, though.
It's happening.
All right. So thank you, everybody. And may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Goodbye.
Music composed by Kyle Torme. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Extremist coverage of The Mandalorian. Subscribe to the Extremist podcast feed at rotyourbrainmedia.com/The Extremist. Subscribe to Rot Your Brain Media feed at rotyourbrainmedia.com and support Rot Your Brain Media by visiting patreon.com/rotyourbrainmedia.